Hello everyone, my name's Elise and I am leading you through this week's special Advent night prayer. Now during Advent, each week a different team member has been leading you through a special Advent night prayer that is centred around a specific theme. Now if you watch our Extraordinary, you will know that each week we pick a specific theme to focus on in the Nottingham Diocese. But in Advent, the themes that we focus on are actually shared universally by the church. All of the church are focusing on these themes each week during Advent. The themes also correspond to the themes of the candles that we light on the Advent wreath. This is the third week of Advent, so the theme for this week is joy. Now joy is obviously a very positive, warm feeling, and so I'm very excited to be leading you through that this week. Now Advent is obviously a time for preparing. And by preparing, we don't necessarily mean putting the Christmas decorations up. We mean preparing for Jesus' coming, and not even Jesus' first coming, because as we know, he has already came down to earth and walked among us, and that is what Christmas Day is for, to celebrate the birth of Jesus' first coming. But during Advent, we are essentially preparing our souls, our hearts, for Jesus' second coming. Now I'm going to send you over to myself in the garden room to begin this night prayer. Welcome everyone to night prayer this evening. I'm joining you from the garden room, which is one of the rooms at the Briars. I like this room very much. I remember at the end of my Year 10 retreat that we joined about 60 staff and students in here for our final night prayer. So it is a room that holds much joy and memories for me. So I thought that I would join you from this room this evening. I just want to remind you as well that you may have seen on our social medias over this week that for this night prayer you will need a template of a candle and a pen. Just a simple template of a candle that you can find on the internet, or even just draw yourself a candle as well. They're pretty easy things to draw. So yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with, that is completely fine. So we just want to start this night prayer together by reminding ourselves that we are always in the presence of God as we make the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now we are in the third week of Advent, and the theme for this week is joy. Now joy is obviously a really positive word. It's all about being happy. Joy is that warm feeling that you get inside. And Christmas and Advent are obviously really joyful times usually. There's many things that we do each year that do bring us joy. It's usually a time when we would join together with family, join together with friends, and we'd probably sing a few songs, play a few games together. We'd just join together and be with each other and enjoy each other's company. There's many things that we do each year and many traditions that we do each year that do bring us joy as well. I know that I love putting the Christmas decorations up. I also love seeing other people's lights on the houses. I love just driving around at night or walking around at night and seeing all the Christmas lights up. And you know, it is something that kind of spreads joy, doesn't it? Because it's a reminder of this time, and it's a reminder of the joy that we all share in at Christmas time, and it's a really positive feeling. But the real joy, and a joy that we can all share in, is the joy that Jesus brings at this time. Christmas Day, we obviously celebrate the birth of Jesus' first coming, where he came to earth and walked among us and gave us an example of how to live. And you know, that little baby boy born in a manger in Bethlehem, he brought hope, he brought peace, he brought joy, he brought love. He just brought us all of these things to the world, and he gave this world a chance, and that is what we celebrate at Christmas time. Now Advent, in the run-up to Christmas, is all about preparing for Jesus' coming. And that doesn't necessarily mean putting the decorations up, although we do that. It means more preparing our souls and our hearts for Jesus' coming, so that when he does come, we are open, we are ready to welcome him, and we are all ready to welcome him into the bestest place that we possibly can, and we can welcome him into a joyous, hopeful, peaceful, loving world. Because Advent as well, Jesus' first coming has obviously already happened, that's why we celebrate Christmas Day. But Advent, we are actually preparing for Jesus' second coming, which obviously hasn't happened yet. So we are preparing our souls for that. Now, Christmas this obviously a little bit different. We cannot all join together as we usually would because of the pandemic, and so this year we have to find new ways to do things because in a time when things are a little bit stressful, and after the year we've had, we still need to make this time of year a joyful, hopeful time, because I think people probably need it now more than ever. And so we've just got to find ways to adjust so that we can still share each other's company, whether that be in spirit through prayer, or whether that be via Zoom or over the internet, because we still need to kind of spread that joy at this time and be together, in any way that we possibly can. We need that right now. And Advent and Christmas time is obviously a great way to do that, because Jesus is coming. It's there to offer us that little bit of hope and joy that we need. A little quote from Jeremiah: "I alone know the plans I have for you, plans for your prosperity and not disaster." That's all about God knowing the plans He has for us in the future, and us having hope for the future, having hope in His plans for the future. And God's greatest plan for all of us was Jesus. He sent His only Son down to save us. That is, Jesus is the biggest beacon of hope and joy for us that we can possibly have. So we need to remind ourselves of that at this time, in a time when everything is a little bit strange, and we don't really know what's coming next. The one thing that we can rely on is God. We can have hope in God's plan for us. We can have hope, we can share in hope and joy that Jesus is coming at this time. So this time of the year is really a great way to spread that hope and joy, and share in Jesus coming, share in hope and joy, share in hope and joy that Jesus is coming to bring at this time of the year. Now this is the third week of Advent, and most of Advent is actually gone at this point. We are very, very close to Jesus coming, to Jesus Sunday was gathered in some in which we lit or rose candle on Advent. If you attended Mass, the priest was probably wearing pink or rose. I've got a few pink cloths going on over here, because pink is a very joyful, bright colour. If you attended Mass as well, you probably also heard the phrase from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians: "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say rejoice. Indeed, the Lord is near." Now, gaudete itself is the Latin word for rejoice. And because we are so close to Jesus' coming, this third week of Advent is kind of a reminder, and it's almost a glimpse into the joy that Jesus is going to bring. Pink is quite comparatively a bright colour to purple, and so it's kind of bright, it's kind of out there, and so we're kind of looking forward at this point to the joy that Jesus is going to bring. We're given a little bit of a glimpse into the future that Jesus is going to bring with him when he arrives. Now I'm just going to read you a little bit from John's Gospel. So a reading from the Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. God sent his messenger, a man named John, who came to tell people about the light, so that all should hear the message and believe. He himself was not the light. He came to tell about the light. This was the real light, the light that comes into the world and shines on all people. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Now, God obviously sent John to prepare the way for Jesus, much like we prepare in Advent for Jesus' coming. John prepared the way for Jesus' first coming. Now, Jesus is the light that John is referring to, the light that comes into the world and shines on all people. Jesus is that light, and he brings that joy to this world. And his joy and his hope is spread out to everyone. That light shines on everyone, because God loves us all, we're all equal in God's eyes, and therefore we all have a right to fact that we have been given a chance to be better and a chance to kind of do God's work on earth and bring heaven to earth. We should rejoice in the fact that we are in God's plan to do that, that we are all important in that plan, that we all have a purpose, that God has given us a purpose, He's given us a job to do on this earth. We should rejoice in that fact. We should rejoice in the fact that we are here doing that. We should rejoice in the fact that we get to share the earth with so many beautiful people who are also in God's plan as well. Now, Jesus obviously did a lot of good things on His time on earth. He made a difference to many people's lives. He offered them joy and hope. He is the example for us to live by. You know, He does. He is the example for us to live by. He did bring joy and hope to many a people. And therefore, if Jesus is the example to live by, then we should spread that joy and hope to others too, much like He did. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to go out and perform miracles. We can't heal the blind. We cannot, heal the sick in the ways that Jesus did. We cannot walk on water. But He did do things that brought people joy and hope. He spoke about God. He loved everyone. He loved His neighbours. He included everyone. He included some of the most forgotten members of society. He brought them together. He brought us all together. He came and served us all. He came and served God by doing that as well. And so He's the example for us to live by. There's so many things that Jesus did that we are capable of. And that doesn't just mean that we have to kind of involve someone who's left out on just one day and that means we've done it. No, we can do that every day. We're given opportunities every day to do that and to try and spread that love and joy that Jesus brings to us. So at this time, we are reminded of the joy that Jesus brings, and we look forward to His second coming because a future with Jesus in it is joyful, it is bright, because He is that light that is coming down to save us all, and He's coming down to bring hope, peace, love and joy, and that world that will come when He comes is so exciting and we look forward to it, and therefore we need to prepare the way in advance of Him. We want Him to come down to a world that is loving, peaceful, joyful and hopeful already. We want Him to come down and feel welcome. We want Him to come down and feel at home. We need to kind of attempt to before He gets there, so we can come down and we can enjoy this time with us all together. Come down and God can crown us all. So we're just going to go into a few moments of reflection now, where I'm going to ask you a few questions. And the answers to the questions, this is the point where you will need your candle and a pen. And the questions, I would just like to write the answers down kind of around the candle, on the candle, wherever you see fit. I did pick a candle because Jesus, as said in Matthew's Gospel, the light of the world, shining its light to all people, bringing hope and joy to all people. So I thought that would be a nice little symbol, a nice little reminder of that to all of us, that Jesus' joy and hope, it spreads out to everyone. Jesus' light came down and shone on all of us. We all have the right to experience Jesus' joy and hope and His light. And so we are all very lucky to experience that. And some of us, I think as well, we don't experience it as much as others, and so therefore we need to bring the light to them, to those people, so that they can experience Jesus' light. So let's just take a moment to be with God. Now, what brings you joy in this world? Is it a particular thing, a particular hobby, like sport or music? Is it a particular place? Is there a particular time of year, a particular season that brings you joy? Now I want you to think about who brings you joy. Who do you see Christ within? Who brings Christ's joy to you? Just think of all those people. Now I want you to think of a time or memory that brings you joy. A time where you saw Christ in others. A time where you saw Christ's joy being brought to you. Now just take a moment to look at your candle. Of all those things that you've written around that empty candle that is now full and surrounded by joy. All those times, all those people, all those places where you have experienced the joy that Christ brings to this earth. And how lucky we are to get to experience that joy and that light that He shines on us. Take a moment to be thankful for all of those times. And in the stressful times that we are living in, use this candle now to maybe look at in times when you are struggling and think of the times when you were joyful. So just take a moment to look at your candle now and see how it is filled with all those joyous times, places, people. And just be thankful to God for all those times when you have encountered Christ's joy that He brings to this world. And how lucky we are to experience His light in different places and different people. How lucky we are to share the light with the people that He has put beside us, who are on the same mission as us, to share that light and spread that joy. Be thankful for all of those people, all of those times. And be thankful as well for the times in the future, the joyous times that are to come. Getting to experience Christ's joy on a daily basis. And let them bring you joy again. Be reminded to look deep for the joy in the world. And if you can't find that joy, then try and be that joy for someone else. Because everyone deserves to experience God's light and Jesus' light and Jesus' joy that He brings to this world. Be excited to experience Jesus' joy in the future when He comes again. Be excited to experience Jesus' joy and His light on a daily basis through others. Through others when you encounter Him in them, when you encounter Christ in them. Be excited to share Jesus' light with others as well. We look forward to Jesus coming because we are excited for the joy that He brings. Rejoice because He is coming joy. But in the meantime, pave the way for him to come. Let him be welcomed into a world that is full of joy and peace and hope and love already. Let him come down and be proud of us. Let him come down and see us living by the example that he set. Thank God for the joys that are to come. The future with Jesus in it is a bright future. And we offer up all of these prayers to God as we say together, the glory be. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Your mission this week is to spread joy. Be a beacon of light, hope and joy for just one person this week. Because that person may need it more now or more. Simply smiling at someone and spreading that little bit of joy to someone in the world, especially at this time when things are a little bit difficult and people are struggling. Can you speak to someone this week who's lonely? Can you send them a card or a letter? Can you smile at everyone you meet to spread that joy? I know that that's a little bit difficult for a mass, but I believe that you guys can do it, and I believe that you can spread joy in other ways. We've got to find ways around this, but just spread joy in any way that you can this week. And during Advent and during every day as much as we can. Every day we are given a new opportunity to spread some more joy to the world. So we'll end this night prayer together with the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you have too. Please remember to join us again next Wednesday at 8 p.m, where the theme will be love. Thank you so much once again for joining me this week, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Good night.